They lost was significant, man. To not just losing Valanciunas, but to lose your dirty work guys. They don't have any of those now. They don't. To lose Marshall and to lose Nance.
They got Daniel Tice.
Daniel Tice, Herb Jones. How many dirty guys? How much
to lose Valanciunas? Losing Valanciunas was enough.
What? How good do you think Jonas Valanciunas is?
He was one of the better rebounders in the game. What are you talking about?
That's it.
Right, he's one of the better, and that's one of the main reasons why they made the playoffs, because of that.
Oh Lord!
Right, because of that logic right there is why they made the playoffs, because of the glass cleaner that he was.
Jalen and sure, ain't better than who?
He can knock. I'm sorry. He can knock down a 15-footer. Sure, and keep defenses honest, which you need that from your big, which they don't have anymore. What you're going to do now is you're going to put Herb Jones at the 5. That works in small ball lineups, only except there's going to be teams.
Man, they ain't finna do that for real, chill.
They better not. To be honest with you,
they better not,
because teams are going to look at them and they're just going to go. It's going to go much bigger. And as much of a fan as I am of Herb Jones as a defender, Herb Jones is not going to be able to guard 5s. And
who is he guarding? Chill.
Hey, hold on.
Jokic is one guy.
Hold on, right quick,
you think Herb Jones can't guard DeAndre Ayton?
Why? There's so many bigs in the West. Why would Ayton be the next answer?
I didn't even say him. I mean, I'm
trying to imagine shoot jumpers. And Herb Jones is not a pylon. He's guarded plenty.
Anthony Davis, Domantas Sabonis, Zach
Alfred Sengun,
Ivica Zubac. They're all murdering him. Every single one of them are murdering him. He's not playing the 5.
Zubac is murdering him.
Yes.
Did you see what Zubac did? Did you see what Zubac did to Gafford?
Okay, if you want to run your offense through Ivica Zubac to milk the matchup against Herb Jones,
the rebounding,
how you're guarding that on the other end. You're acting like Herb Jones is a non-offensive player. The guy can
Trey Murphy, Zion, and Herb Jones. Well, apparently Zion's not in because Herb's playing the 5. So in that whatever lineup that is, they're getting destroyed.
Okay. So if let's say for instance positionally, even if you want to say Herb Jones is your 5, okay, just for because Zion's not going to be your 5, you don't think Zion can just be a reasonable post defender on an Ivica Zubac?
No, I don't.
He's an immovable object.
I don't think
as Herb Jones helps out.
No.
Look, I don't think it's ideal to start Herb Jones and Zion Williamson as your front court. I think that's ridiculous, and I hope that they fix that. But I'm saying in the meanwhile, the other team's got to deal with that too. Okay. So you're saying Zach Edey and Ivica Zubac. I'd like to see one of those guys handle Herb Jones on the perimeter.
Handle him?
Yes, handle him. If you're going to talk about Ivica Zubac like he's fucking Kareem Abdul-Jabbar,
I didn't say that.
See,
you do these extremes. No one said that.
No one is running their offense
about him being an elite offensive player.
Matchup, though.
You got so focused on scoring, and I immediately went to the actual thing that matters, which is securing and ending possessions. They wouldn't be able to do that versus a team like the Clippers. Period.
Or Minnesota.
They can gang rebounds.
Or Denver.
When you look at all the other positions, when you look at all the other positions, they have size and athletic advantages.
Who's a rebound? Hold on. Who's a very good rebounder for the Pelicans? Then?
I'm not talking about individually. I'm talking about rebounding as a team. DeJounte Murray's a good point guard. DeJounte Murray's a good rebounder. Herb Jones is a good rebounder relative to his position and size. Zion is when Zion wants to. Zion is a monster on the boards. Brandon Ingram is Brandon Ingram. He could get in there and rebound. I'm saying,
when has he done that?
This is what they're going to have to do. It's not about what you did. It's about what you're capable of doing. It's about what you're capable of. These dudes are capable of rebounding. You're big enough to go in there and get a rebound.
You know what?
So now you're going to have to do that.
Running fast, I can't do it.
All right, well, do that versus the Lakers and see what happens.
You're going to have to do that. I mean, it's obviously going to be teams where it's going to get ugly for them against certain teams. But kind of what Penn said too, though. Y'all all got to play defense too.
Yes, we do.
Y'all got to stop us in transition.
Okay, well, I'm gapping off of Herb.
There's certain things that they got to do.
Beat me that way then. If we doing that, because he not beating me in DHOs and passing. Go make your shots. That's fine. I'm saying I'm living with that. If that's the case,
like the second best passer on that team, bro.
I'm good. Yeah, I'm still good off that though. If that's your offense, then cool. I'm loaded up on Zion in the paint, kick it out to Herb or whoever you want to. Maybe Trey Murphy or whatever. But I'm just saying, if that's your solution on the other end, you're still probably going to lose those minutes. This is not to diminish Herb. But I think if they're playing them at the 5 pin, which is what apparently people have said through that organization, I think they're tripping. But that's just me.
The Pelicans are going to surprise y'all. I'm telling you, they really are going to surprise you guys.
No, they're not.
I'm not saying they're going to be that. I'm not saying
No,
they're going to be the
they're
number one
They're
team in
not.
the West, but
They
they
might
are
surprise
really
me.
going
I
to
think they
surprise
should
you
be better
guys.
than the
No,
Houston
they're not.
Rockets. I don't have them here.
They might surprise me how bad they're going to be. They might surprise me there, but they're not going to surprise me in being good. No,
All
they're not
right,
gonna
chill.
do that. It
Do you have
depends.
lineup
Like,
data for how bad
The collection of
Rockets
talent that they have over
were
there
last year
is
without
is
KD?
extreme.
and to Penn's point, okay, sure. If you run a lineup with the front court of being, let's see, Herb Jones, Zion, and who's your other guy? Brandon Ingram. Okay, that's your front court, and you got CJ and DeJounte in the backcourt, right? So if you're running that lineup, when you go small, you can run that. When the Warriors go when the Warriors go Steph, Dre, Wiggins, Pods, and let's say Looney. Okay, that lineup works, sure. But when you have to play the Lakers, when they got James and Anthony Davis and Rui in the front court, when you got to play Memphis, when they got Zach Edey and Jaren Jackson, when you have to play when you got to play these bigger teams that I'm thinking about, when you got to play these better teams that gang rebound and these bigs that take advantage of smaller players, you're cooked.
You can't just run Daniel Tice for 12 minutes, 18 minutes. Zach Edey's going to play. I mean,
I've seen
the theory is Zion will run Zach Edey off the floor.
Also, can we just acknowledge that Herb Jones played about 30% of his minutes last year as a big between the power forward and center spot? It's not that absurd.
How productive was he?
He's fine. He's one of the best
Wing defender.
Yeah, but like, I don't.
But
the theory of
it's
Herb
the same
at
thing
the
with
five-
OG Anunoby. Like I've seen OG Anunoby be
He's
the best matchup on Joel Embiid. Like, is it ideal? No. I've seen Scotty Barnes do a really good job against Nikola Jokic. Is it ideal for a 40? Yes,
bigger players.
Yes, Swiper. It
Both
happened.
bigger
He
players
held
than Herb Jones, by the way.
Jokic scoreless in a fourth quarter.
Both bigger players than Herb Jones.
Herb at the five. Like, I don't know why this is so hard to comprehend. Herb at the five just means he's going to be their primary rim protection. He's not going to be guarding the post. That's not going to be.
He's a roamer. That's what he is.
They're going to use Zion's physical frame as a post defender, and Herb is going to be
physical profile as Ben
that,
Wallace.
I'm not saying that's a good plan, but like the idea that people can't comprehend.
Herb Jones
that
is
Herb
just
isn't
as
going
tall
to be,
and just as long as Ben Wallace.
Wait a minute. Finish that point, Mars. The idea that people can't comprehend.
The idea that Herb Jones is going to be some post defender who's going to be anchoring it, like that's not what his role is going to be. He's just going to be their primary rim protector. Now, if you think that's not great, then sure. I'm not saying it's good or bad, but can we stop acting like it's just going to be Herb is going to be in the middle of the paint, just there trying to deter a shot? That's not what he's going to do on defense.
No,
it's very clear that what they're going to try and do on defense is going to be a lot of switching with keeping Herb low as a great rim protector and someone who can mess up the weak side. That's what they're going to do. So this Herb at the five thing that people seem to be overreacting to, they're not asking him to guard Jokic. They're not asking him to guard Joel Embiid. They're not going to ask him to do that.
He's still going to have to do 5-man stuff. So when you're talking about Zion being their primary post defender, so Zion
had stuff last year.
One more time.
He did 5-man stuff last year.
Okay,
they're going to use him the exact same way they used him last year.
Okay, so what you're telling me is that we're going to have to do this primarily now. Like, we're not going to do
this.
That's
the concern. Yes, that's the point, Mars. That's not enough reason to be like, oh, they're going to be trash.
Yes, because I can do stuff. I can do things in stretches. You're telling me that Herb Jones is going to be more of a roamer. Herb Jones is going to be more of a rim protector. So I'm trying to imagine Zion having to deal with Giannis on the box and then Herb Jones on the weak side. No, that's not going to work. Especially if we're going to do that on the regular. And I'm not even thinking about the Western Conference. I'm not even thinking about the Eastern Conference. I'm thinking about the Western Conference. When you got guys on the box like Chet. So who's going to cover Chet? So let's see. I don't know. Brandon Ingram is going to cover Chet. Or Zion is going to cover Chet. So now I have Herb Jones on the weak side after Chet gets past Zion, which he's going to do, by the way, because he's going to drag him out of the paint, because he's going to knock down mid-range shots. And I got Zion protecting the rim. So when we play the Lakers and Zion is covering James on the box and James is getting past him, Herb Jones is at the rim. Is that who I'm concerned with? I'm not concerned with Herb Jones at the rim. And again, Mars, we're doing this primarily. We're not doing this for stretches, 3 minutes, 4 minutes. No, this is our primary 5-man. Not like Jabbar, not like Olajuwon, but in your estimation, a guy that's covering on the weak side of the floor, he's going to do that on the regular. I think
that's what they did last year. They had Valanciunas play high on pick and rolls, and Herb was the one playing behind the play, messing everything up. They're going to use Zion the exact same way. That's how they used Zion last year, just next to Valanciunas. When Zion gets brought into the action on a pick and roll, he's going to hard hedge. They're going to give up the pocket pass. Herb is going to rotate, and they're going to rotate around it. That's how they played last year. The only difference is the rebounding, which I can agree with. Rebounding is the concern, but the actual defensive principle is going to be the exact same as it was last year.
How many
They're going
minutes
to
do you
play
think
the
Jonas
exact
Valanciunas
same,
played last
except
year?
with Zion and Valanciunas. They only have now one defensive liability in that regard, just Zion. That's
How many
the only
minutes
difference.
do y'all think Jonas Valanciunas played last year? Y'all acting like they lost like a 36-minute per game guy.
They
He
also
played
don't have their
23
backup
minutes a
center,
game.
by the way. They also don't have their backup center from last year.
But to Mars's
Okay.
point, I mean, I like to think that, and this is not a huge separator, but I think that Valanciunas is better on the block defending than Zion.
Absolutely, he is. That was the one place where he provided actually good value. Yeah.
So
Like they lose things. I think they gain a lot on offense that's being ignored. That's what I'm saying. I think
You're putting Herb Jones in a weird position because it's not necessarily the greatest rim protector. I understand that. The reason that I threw out the Ben Wallace thing is I'm just saying they're the same height. So I don't necessarily dismiss the guy who's 6'7" playing center. The problem is Herb Jones has like 100 gifts on defense. I would say shot blocking and rim protection, rim deterrence is not necessarily the best one or even the 60th best one. So it would be pushing him in an area of weakness. Whereas I think, are you going to use him like a Giannis? No. Like I think if that's his role, you'll struggle. At the other side, you are going to space out teams and you're going to run them in transition. And if you do have a traditional big, you're going to be behind the play all the time. If you have an Ivica Zubac or a Zach Edey, and on the other end, they got bigs like Zion and Trey Murphy, like they're just going to outrun you, right? So I see it that way. I don't think people will be batting an eye. I mean, maybe people should be batting an eye if Pascal Siakam was your starting center. People might see him more as a prototypical center type and be like, all right, I see what they're doing with Zion and Pascal. I'll say this. I think Herb is a better defender in that role as a center than Pascal would be. I just don't think we think of it that way.
Join, wait,